What stupid joke do you love? What's about a foot long, and slippery? A slipper. What's brown and sticky? A stick. Knock knock. Who's there? Smell mop. Smell mop who? Told to me by an 8-year-old. I fell right for it too. I came here looking for this one. My favorite. A man finds a penguin at his doorstep. His friends tell him to take it to the zoo. Later that day, they see him walking down the street while still carrying the penguin. They ask him, weren't you gonna take it to the zoo? And the man says, I did, now I'm taking it to the movies. I love penguins and I think this is hilarious, smiley face, smiley face. I went to the zoo the other day and they only had one animal in the entire place, a pathetic looking little dog. It was a Shih Tzu. You mean to tell me a shrimp fried this rice? The pun is even stronger in Mandarin. It's called, which is a pun for prawn man fries rice, or just a lame man fries rice. Okay, I almost spit out my drink. This is great. Two fish are in a tank. One turns to the other and says, how do you drive this thing? Two soldiers in a tank. One turns to the other and says, BBLBPBLBBB. A priest and a rabbit walk into a blood clinic. The priest says, I think I'm a type A. The rabbit says, I think I'm a typo. A priest, an imam and a rabbit walk into the DMV. The rabbit says, I think there's been a clerical error. So good. What do you see when a duck bends over? A butt quack. God, I'm so childish. Of course this is the one I laugh at XD. What are the difference between a hippo and a zippo? One is very heavy, and the other one is a little lighter. This is my very favorite joke. I'm so easily entertained. I was walking through a quarry and said to the foreman, that's a big rock. Boulder, he replied. So I puffed out my chest and shouted, look at that enormous rock over there. Man at funeral, it's a hole in the ground you can get water from. Widow, thanks, I know you mean well. What's the surname of that Austrian racing driver? Louder? What's the surname of that Austrian racing driver? I was walking home and there was this guy hammering a roof that called me a paranoid bastard in Morse code. This was actually an emo Phillips bit originally. I got fired from my job at the calendar factory. I took a day off. I got fired from the orange juice factory. I just couldn't concentrate. Your days were numbered there anyway. Manuel, is your car automatic? It's manual. Oh, I'm sorry. Manual, is your car automatic? Translated from Portuguese. American trying to pick up UK chicks in a bar. Hey, are you girls from England? It's Wales. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you Wales from England? Manuel, is your car automatic? It's auto. Oh sorry, Otto, is your car manual? What's red and bad for your teeth? A brick. What's blue and even worse for your teeth? A very fast brick. Stupid jokes always get me. I usually tell dad jokes. Most of the time he laughs. When I gave my dad his 50th birthday card, he said one would have been enough. I do too, but he stopped laughing a few years back. Does Santa pay for parking? No, it's on the house. When life gives you melons, you know you have dyslexia. Similarly, when life gives you scurvy, make lemonade. Dyslexia is very common, affecting 10 out of 2 people. How do you think the unthinkable? With an iceberg. What you get when you cross the Atlantic with the Titanic? About halfway. If I'm gonna be frank, I'd have to change my name. I'm going to be frank with you. Then who should I be? I'm reading a horror story in Braille, something bad is going to happen. I can feel it. This is gold. Not mine. I got it here somewhere, but it's one of my favorites. Guy walks into a liquor store. He wanders around a bit, and eventually the store owner asks him if he needs any help. He replies, yeah, I do, but I'd rather just get whiskey. Using this at the liquor store. I feel they probably hear it a lot, but I'm about to be a dad. Gotta start getting in character. So's favorite joke at a restaurant: "Excuse me, do you have reservations?" "Yeah, but we are going to eat here anyway." What's the name of the French shoe inventor? Philip Philop. Person A: I took my wife to the Caribbean. Person B: Jamaica. Person A: no, she wanted to go. Fun fact, this is the joke that made the title of the Led Zeppelin song Dieu Maker. A: we went to Bournemouth at the weekend. B: endorse it? A: yes, I'd recommend it to anyone. English geography knowledge required. But these two are often told back to back here. There's more as well, but I can't remember them. Why are kleptomaniacs terrible with puns? They're always taking everything, literally. While on a road trip, look out the window and say, "Oh look, a flock of cows." Passenger: no, it's a herd of cows. Me: herd of cows? Of course I have. There's a whole flock over there. I love doing this joke. Why do blind people hate skydiving? It scares the hell out of their dogs. It's a joke from It's Always Sunny, but it cracks me up every time. Did you hear that people in Dubai don't like the Flintstones? But the people in Abu Dhabi do. This joke gave me a beer gut and like 15% more chest hair. This is the one. I'm ready for my child now. I actually saw it on a post that made it to the front page of r/all. Why are seagulls called seagulls? Because if they flew over bays, they'd be bagels. I stared at it for like several seconds at how stupid it was. The more I thought about it, the funnier it was for me. Other really bad jokes were some that my dad told me when I was young about books that were never written, which were all just really bad puns between a book title and author name. Example: Dangerous Cliffs by Eileen Dover, Rushing to the Outhouse by Willie Make It, Rusty Bed Springs by I. Nightly Suicide Pact by Hugo First. There's many others I've forgotten, but these are just to name a few. They're all bad. Rushing to the Outhouse by Willie Make It and Betty Won't. You forgot the best ones. Behead the Bleachers by Seymour Butts. Trails in the Sand by John Sundrage and Get Out of My Way by Hugh Yass, and, last but not least, Downspout by Wayne Watts. Said in one sentence quickly, what's the most important part of a joke? Timing. My favorite version of this is where you wait until the other person starts to speak and then interrupt them with timing. I heard that joke in a movie when I was a kid, and I came up with my own second half. I'd say the first half just like that, but the second time around I'd have the other person ask me what the most important part of comedy is, and I'd just wait. Eventually they'd ask when I was gonna say the punchline, and then I'd say it. My mom liked it so much that she told me to tell her the joke but wait like 10 years to say the punchline. It's been 6 years already and I haven't forgotten. The CIA, KGB and MI6 decide to have a contest. Each is given the task to find a rabbit released in the woods. The CIA uses spy planes and satellites and finds the rabbit in 2 hours. The MI6 deploys recon and search teams and finds it in 3 hours. The KGB return after 1 hour with a badly beaten bear who cries out, "I am the rabbit and I surrender." German version from the 80s, CIA, Mossad and the BND, Bundesnachrichtendienst, Federal Intelligence Service, have their contest the next year. Task: find a bear. The CIA team comes back after 6 hours with a bear carcass riddled with bullet holes. However, they are beaten by the 2 Mossad guys who return after 2 hours with a dead bear sporting a single bullet hole right between the eyes. The next day the busload of BND operatives finally return, dragging a live deer by the antlers, hitting it with sticks and yelling at it, "Confess that you're a bear." The actual agencies tend to vary depending on who is telling it, but here's, roughly, version I remember: FBI, NSA, and CIA are all trying to find the rabbit. The NSA plants surveillance throughout the woods, pays informants, and taps all the phones. After a couple of weeks, they announce that rabbits don't actually exist and go home. The FBI sends hundreds of agents in on a massive manhunt, finding nothing. Eventually they set fire to the woods and burn the whole thing down, killing all the animals including the rabbit. The rabbit obviously had it coming. The CIA sends a small team in. A couple hours later they come out with a bear that's screaming that he's a rabbit. How do you throw a party in outer space? You plan it. Why do seals swim in salt water? Because pepper water makes them sneeze. Subscribe for more hot Reddit takes in your inbox, guaranteed.